Let me just start this video out by saying that Adventure Time is my favorite show ever made. Everything about this show drew me in from episode 1, and honestly, even now, after its conclusion, I still watch it. I love the characters and the world and everything in between. So knowing this, it's no surprise that I would gravitate to 2 video games of the franchise, and today we will be taking a look at the latest of them, Adventure Time: Pirates of the Enchiridion. Let's get right on with it. Pirates of the Enchiridion is a game divided into 2 things, boat and walking exploration and turn-based strategy combat. Telling a completely original story, and with most of the cast reprising their TV roles, it seemed like a no-brainer to fans of the show. However, there are a few things that I will discuss later on that keep it from a recommendation. So let's just start with the story. The premise is very simple. Someone took the Ice King's crown and turned its gem backwards, which in turn made him defrost his kingdom. Since obviously ice turns into water, the land of Oo gets completely flooded, and it's up to Finn and Jake, Marceline and BMO to figure out how to fix it and who and why they did it. They quickly find a boat and you are let loose. For the most part, you are free to explore an open world, stopping in islands to explore and engage in combat. This combat is turn-based, as said before, and extremely item-reliant. This is not really an issue since using an item doesn't end your turn, and items are everywhere and are also very cheap to purchase from the shop, and their shops spread it all over every single island. You can attack with a normal melee move or a special move. Each character has 3 specials that they can use, and an ultimate that can be made when its bar is filled up. The specials also have a bar, but this one is much easier and faster to fill, especially when you unlock BMO, since BMO has a move that regenerates this energy much faster. And just like every game like this, you can get inflicted or inflict status ailments. They're honestly what you would expect: sleeping, dazed, burn, you know the drill. That is for the most part the combat. I don't really feel like I need to spend more time on it, so I won't. Your characters can also be leveled up and upgraded. Each one can reach level 10 max and have a couple of things to upgrade, and these are bought with money. Money can be earned by quests and finding objects when in your boat. Speaking of being in your boat, let's get to talking about that. After all, that is the main gimmick and attraction of the game. The boat is used to traverse through the now synced land of Oo. Only a couple of islands remain, and there are boxes to collect and blow up all over the water. Once you reach an island, you can land on it and traverse through it with all 4 characters. You are allowed to change to whichever you want at any time, and sometimes a certain character is needed for specific tasks. Finn can use lookout points that show you points of interest in your map, BMO can open certain doors, Marceline can turn invisible, and Jake can enlarge and help you cross gaps or raise you up. In addition to this, Jake can also turn into a motorcycle that is recommended for faster exploration. There's a couple of secrets on the islands, but most of them are pretty bare bones, even if their design is very appealing and very true to the source material. That is honestly the best word to describe all the water parts: very bare. I have pretty much described the entirety of what you can do in the boat. There is a sonar that shows you the best path to take to quests, and you can find a shoot a kraken, but that is it. It really is more of a means of transportation than anything else. They could have done so much more with this concept. Honestly, it was a great idea, but they could have fleshed it out a bit more. For example, treasure hunts or ship combat would have really fleshed out the experience. Which, by the way, there are 7 pirate ships, and they all just turn into the standard turn-based fighting, so there's no point to them pretty much. The story itself is nothing to write home about, and before you know it, it's over. I won't spoil it, but if you're buying this game for the original script, then you will be very disappointed. With that in mind though, as a fan of Adventure Time, I think this is a very neat game. It felt like a lot of time was taken to ensure that the game was faithful to the source material, and it really shows. The characters all act like their TV counterparts, and there is a nice design to all the lands and a couple of fun things that happen if you're familiar with the show. But I can't continue on without addressing the biggest issue this game has. Despite the semi-open world look, there are quite a few loading screens, and some of them are very long, although I heard it used to be much worse before it got patched. Also, there's invisible walls everywhere. The game completely slows down and sometimes just flat out freezes. But that's not all. Throughout my time with Adventure Time, pretty much all the notes I took were all the game breaking on me. It got so bad, I honestly questioned if the game even got tested. Which, to be fair, there were only a couple of people credited as game testers, so that might have been the case. Take that as you may though, there's no excuse to releasing a game that is semi-broken like that. Anyway, here's just a few that I found. The lip syncing is really off, like incredibly off. The sound mixing can be atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, You used to live on our roof, man! I've got a better place to live now. And yeah, I guess we're gonna fight. Bring it!
And the cutscene sometimes ended completely abruptly.
Okay, Captain Finster.
Alright, let's get back to the boat.
Honestly, I have no idea why Jake started walking backwards or why I couldn't pause the damn game. So yeah.
Up we go!
There was a couple more things, but you get the point. Also, what the hell is wrong with the music, or should I say lack of it? Seriously, most of the game has no music, and it's a bit awkward feeling sometimes.
Got it! Nab it! Snagged it!
Pirates of the Enchiridion is a hard game for me to recommend, especially for its price and state. I think for a fan, there's a couple of things that make it worth it, and there is some charm and attention for fans of the show. Things like the sea chants, which are few and far between by the way.
And Jake are off to see the Ice King, or what's left in the case that he has melted. Come on, Jake, let's go and do our hero thing. Set course and let's sail.
Or the random cameos of fan favorites are all nice for a fan like me. I did have fun, but I was also very frustrated. If you're not a fan of the show, there's nothing here for you. But if you are, keep the problems I talked about in mind. I definitely recommend a 10 to 15 euro price point on this one. More than that, and you're honestly getting ripped off. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe, like, all that crap. See you guys later.
This is not over.